Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be the art of re-attraction. Well, I've got an email here from a viewer who broke up with his girlfriend of, I think it was 2 years. And initially he did all the begging, the pleading. That obviously got him nowhere. And then he started to back off a little bit, and he continued to fumble the football, and then found my work and was able to successfully turn things around and re-attract his ex. So he goes into, he violated a bunch of the principles, but at the end of the day, he was able to do enough things right than wrong that he was able to get her back. So I have a quote that I wrote on this topic, and I'm going to go through his email. And the quote says, "The worst thing you can do if you get dumped by a lover is to grovel, chase, pursue, plead, beg, and try to get them to change their mind. Acting this way is demeaning, disrespectful to yourself, and communicates that you do not value what you have to offer. When a former lover has unilaterally changed the terms of your relationship to terms that are not acceptable to you, the best response is to communicate that you are not interested in their terms, then walk away and never look back, and tell them to contact you if they ever change their mind. Since it was their idea to end the relationship, it must be their idea to rekindle things. They also must show that they are willing to come to you on your terms if they ever get in touch with you in the future." So let's go through his email. He says, "Hey Coach, after reading your book a few times and applying most of your techniques, you are a legend, dude." Well, I appreciate that, but really I'm just another fucking guy. The only thing that separates me from you or anybody else in this world is I just tend to apply better success principles on a more consistent basis than most people do. That's why I get the results that I do. So therefore, if you just apply these things that I teach, you'll get the same results in your own life. I'm not better than anybody else. I'm just another fucking guy. I'm just an average looking dude doing the best I can with what I got. He says, "After my girlfriend of 2 years broke up with me, I did the standard begging, trying to change her mind, etc. I realized how futile this was quite quickly and left her to her own devices. She called me a few days later and asked if I wanted to come over for dinner, so I told her this wasn't the best idea. I would have been like, sure. I would have gone over, hung out, had fun, and hooked up. But he didn't know my book back then." He says, "I called her a few days later and asked her out for coffee." He says, "I know, lunch dates are for friends. We talked for a while, but things got too emotional. We both ended up in tears and went our separate ways." Remember, whatever you make a woman feel when she is with you is what she's going to associate with you. And so instead of hanging out, having fun, and hooking up, you hung out and you had a miserable time, and there obviously was no hooking up because you both went your separate ways. Not good. He says, "I contacted her a few days later and asked her out again, and she said she wasn't sure, so I told her to get back to me if she changed her mind. She contacted me 2 days later asking me about the name of a track I told her, and she said she would call in a few days. I buckled after a week and called her, then proceeded to stay on the phone for an hour without organizing a date. Again, idiocy on my part, so I didn't call her again." Phone is for setting dates. Period. Not for dithering and hesitating and chasing your tail like a dog. "It was at this point that I discovered your work and all of the mistakes became clear. I read your book a few times and watched a load of your videos along with reading The Way of the Superior Man." That's by David Data. I highly recommend that book for every man and every woman to read. And The Power of Now, which that's an Eckhart Tolle book. Great book as well. He says, "From this point on, I had a better idea of what to do, which was nothing, so I waited for her to get in touch. Then I reestablished my goals, got a new job, got new clothes, etc." He focused on becoming the best version of himself that he could be. That's what every man should always 24/7 be doing. Be focused on being your best. Even when you're sleeping, that means getting a full 8 hours of sleep, 7-8 hours of sleep at least. Your body needs rest as well. "I received a birthday text from her saying, 'I hope you're having a good birthday. Maybe we can meet up for a coffee in a few days.' With my birthday being on Valentine's Day, I thought it best not to respond. Yeah, let her fucking wonder. You're busy. You're busy celebrating with people who care about you and who want you in their life, not somebody who blew you off and broke up with you. The next day, she phoned me sounding really worried and started apologizing for not coming out on my birthday. Shows her attraction levels creeping back up. I said it was okay and asked her what day she was free and arranged to go out the following Wednesday. Unfortunately, I decided to meet her for coffee again, but this time I had a game plan. Dude, what's with the coffee dates? Come on, man. Seriously. I met her and we had a coffee, but then suggested going for some food. During the meal, she brought up the relationship and how I'd been doing since the breakup. I told her about studying the psychological differences between men and women, how I realized the reverse polarity of our relationship towards the end had caused problems. She said she was amazed by the transformation in me, and I agreed that the breakup had been a good thing as it helped both of us grow. After food, I suggested we go for a drink at a nearby cocktail bar. Okay, so you're redeeming. You started out with coffee, and then you slowly transitioned into an evening. He says we stayed there, talked, and ordering more food. We ended up sitting on a sofa, and we made some sex jokes about being single. I said I wasn't looking to have a relationship, that labels just complicate things, that we should just have some fun, at which point we started making out. Hang out, have fun, hook up. Sounds like the hooking up is starting to happen. So let's see. We went back to her place, and she started to get cold feet about it. Remember, sex has to be the man's fault. I said I just wanted to have some fun, but she said she wasn't sure she could have sex without her feelings for me coming back. I'm not going to complain if you find me irresistible and you're on top of me in a few minutes going, oh, Corey, oh, mi Dios, oh my God. I told her she was thinking about it too much. Remember, I did a video a few days ago where I was talking about how, and I talk about this in my book, how women tend to take little things and they blow them up in these big things. And it's the man's job to take the big things and shrink it back down to little things, which is what he's doing successfully here. She said she still wasn't sure, so I told her, look, I'm not going to push you into anything, and I don't want you to feel uncomfortable. If this isn't what you want, then I'll go home. She was nearly in tears by this point, and she clutched my hand. So he's basically willing to say, all right, I'm going to leave. And she grabs his hand. So I put my arm around her and kissed her on the forehead, and she started kissing me on the neck, and things went from there. Remember, this is part of being indifferent and being unattached. You want her, but you're okay with not having her as well. She wants to feel your strength to resist her and let her go. I left the next morning after more sex and cuddles and told her to keep in touch. Now I will wait and just pursue my goals, not her. Now you're fucking talking. Good job. Thanks for the great advice. It's been invaluable even if I did bend the rules a bit. I am still learning more, which I will apply better if she contacts me again. Well, I like the state of mind that you're in. Hang out, have fun, and hook up. It's that simple. Wait to hear from her, because remember, she's the one that unilaterally ended your relationship. Therefore, it's got to be her idea to rekindle things. And if you let her do all of the calling, texting, and pursuing, she will talk you into becoming her boyfriend once again, and eventually into becoming her husband, if that's what you are looking for and what she is looking for. So, even though it wasn't perfect, you still did a pretty damn good job of turning things around and getting back to the simple thing of hanging out, having fun, and hooking up, and reforming that emotional bond. And since you let her contact you, it's her idea. And if it's her idea, she will be the one to talk you into becoming her boyfriend again, which is obviously is what you want. So good job at reattracting her. So if you'd like to get my help personally, the quickest way is to book a paid phone, Skype, or email coaching session. You can choose any of those options by going to my website, clicking the products tab at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions for booking whichever option works best for you. And I will talk to you soon.